Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. I don't know about you, but I am having a great start to 2023 in terms of my collection. If you missed my previous video, I picked up card number 31 on my 100 cards for $100,000, and it is a beauty. Today, I want to show you another big pickup. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that I am working on Hall of Fame PSA registry sets. So in other words, trying to collect all the Hall of Famers for a particular year. And the one that I'm closest to and the one that I first started focusing on was 1978 Topps. And I got to the point last year where I was only missing two. And then Jim Cott got elected to the Hall of Fame, and he's in the 78 Topps set. So that meant I had 3 cards to get to finish the PSA registry for all the Hall of Famers featured in 1978 Topps. Well, that number is now down to 2. I am so excited to get this card. You have no idea. And when you see it, you may be like, well, what's so special about it? But I'll tell you how special it is to me and being able to pick it up. So let's turn the camera around and I'll show off my latest 78 Topps Hall of Famer card. All right, the one card of the 3 that I am missing that I now have as part of my collection is 78 Topps Bob Lemon manager card. This has been so hard for me to find, and I'm going to give some examples here of why this card has been so difficult for me to add to my collection. But I managed to pick it up in a PSA 9. Now again, at least for 1978, with the exception of maybe the Molitor and the Murray rookies, those are probably the only 2 cards I think that I have less than a PSA 8. 78 is my set. It's the first year I started collecting cards. It's a very special set for me. So when I started doing this PSA run of the Hall of Famers, I wanted higher end copies. Other vintage cards I have in my collection, it's more of a budget thing. The number grade isn't as important, but for these 78s, I wanted really nice examples. All right, so yeah, to be able to find this one in a PSA 9 is just amazing. So let me show you the back here. Super clean back. These 78 sometimes are so hard to find. You find a lot of ink blotches through the printing process, normally down here for the name. But this one is nice and clean. All right, so to give you some, I guess, perspective of how hard this card has been for me to get. So I looked up the total PSA population for this card. Including qualifiers, there have only been 124 Bob Lemon cards graded by PSA. They're not rare. This card is not rare. You can find it on eBay all over the place, ungraded. But for a graded copy, and again, you know, I'm not surprised that people have not submitted this card to PSA for grading unless they were working on a set or wanted to collect the White Sox players, or maybe they are a fan of Bob Lemon and wanted his run. So it's a small population that would be interested in a graded card of the 78 Topps Bob Lemon. So again, total population only 124. There are only 31 graded PSA 8, 65 graded PSA 9, and there are 9 PSA 10s. So again, my goal was to find this card in a PSA 8 or 9. So there's less than 100 of these graded cards out there. So they don't come up for sale or auction very often. And so the second thing is I looked at the historical prices for what PSA 9s have sold for. And I went back to 2020. So in February of 2020, now that was shortly after I just started getting on YouTube and doing videos. So this was before I was even building a vintage collection. So this card was definitely not on my radar. In February of 2020, a PSA 9 sold for $28. Not bad. In May of 2020, another copy sold for $28. Again, I think by May of 2020, I was just getting in to adding some vintage cards to my collection. Not sure if I saw this one, put a bid in. I'm not sure. It might have been a buy it now. I'm not sure. But anyway, I didn't pick it up. In October of 2020, a PSA 9 sold for $30. Again, I'm not sure if I just missed out. I didn't go that far back to see if I even bid on it or whether it was a buy it now and it got snatched up before I saw it. I don't know. But anyway, I missed out on it. The following month, November of 2020, a PSA 9 sold for $64. In April of 2021, now granted, this was starting to be the height of the big bubble and the big expansion of prices and stuff, a PSA 9 sold for $130. Then in June of 2021, dropped down a little bit, but one still sold for $70. And I'm sure I saw those cards, but honestly, no offense, Bob Lemon, but I'm not paying $64, $70, $130 for this card. Okay. One didn't show up or one didn't sell. I'm sure there were some listed, but they didn't sell. The next sale didn't take place for another year. It wasn't until June of 2022 that a PSA 9 copy sold for $123. Also in June, another copy sold for $140. So as you can see, I've made a comment several times. I've seen a PSA, I think it's PSA 9, show up on eBay, and either it's a buy it now price or a starting auction bid. I think it's been like around $150 or more for either a buy it now or the opening bid. And there was no way I was going to pay that. So again, I thought, hey, I may just have to buy an ungraded copy, try to find a really nice one, send it into PSA now that the grading prices have come down. But I came across a listing, an auction. The opening bid, I forget, I didn't write it down, but it was quite reasonable, maybe a couple dollars. Now, it was also in Canadian, so I had to do the conversion. But anyway, the opening bid may have been $5 or something like that, with the Canadian conversion, $4 or $5 in shipping. Well, I can't remember how high I put my bid in because I knew, hey, this could be my opportunity to pick up this card. Well, I won the auction, all in, including the winning bid, shipping, and tax, US $21.50. So you can imagine my excitement when I realized I won this card for less than $22, the cheapest this card has sold since February, even before February of 2020. And finally knocks off the Bob Lemon card in my 1978 Topps run of Hall of Famers. So now I'm only missing the Jim Cott and the Raleigh Fingers League leaders. I think they're called firemen or something like that, for saves leaders, I think. Those are the only two cards that I'm missing for my complete Hall of Fame run for 1978 Topps. So there you go. Again, most of you may be thinking, it's just a Bob Lemon card. Why so excited? But again, knowing my goal of wanting to get all the Hall of Famers from my favorite vintage set, being priced out of previous sales that were ridiculous, and to be able to finally get one for such a bargain, I am so ecstatic. So would like to know your thoughts on, am I going too crazy over this little 1978 Topps card? Would you be as excited as I am? Again, would love to know your thoughts. But with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.